Alrighty, everybody. So I'm mainly recording this video as kind of an intro to some SQL syntax and also as an intro to my music review application thing. So right away, I want to say that the data that's in this database is not final. Neither are the tables inside the database. It's just a rough draft of what I want it to look like, and so I want to start to model some of the data, as well as I need to have something in the database to query it from Node. So I just want to have some play data in here. Eventually, we will get better on it. So as you can see, it's going to be like a song review type thing. We've got songs, albums, artists, playlists, and I believe users are my tables, and then obviously song reviews, and then album reviews as well. So we've got quite a few tables for you guys to check out over here. User, song reviews, artists, albums, album reviews. Okay, so we've got 6 tables. So to show some of the schema off, songs, pretty simple. It's pretty much what you expect. Like I said, there's just some things I need to do. I did all this pretty quickly to kind of get a concept out. But obviously, songs, name of the song, the length, who made it. Someone has to make the song. It doesn't necessarily have to be inside of an album. But someone in the DB has to make the song. Come on, bro. And then just referencing these guys as the foreign keys. And moving up to artists. Pretty simple. Just the name of the artist. Albums, same thing. Albums have an ID. They have a name. No one's gonna know that shit was paused. So yeah, going over the schema here. Album schema is going to be very similar to the song. Name, person that made the album, it's going to have those. Release year, runtime is going to be the same thing as the length. It's just when I first made it, the schema, I just had it as the length. And obviously this is an integer. It's going to be like a date timestamp object or whatever. I just put integer there because like I said, I was making this really quickly. Couldn't think of the timestamp at the time. Yeah. So song reviews, album reviews, pretty much the same things, but it has a medium text here because we're gonna store the actual text review as well as a rating. I might make this into a decimal rating so that way I can do like 6.4, blah blah blah, and not a whole integer number. So this is gonna have a user ID. I'm not really sure if I want to implement this yet because the reason I put that in there is so that way users that are not me can add song reviews, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. I also don't even know if I should. I feel like I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do that, honestly, but we'll see. But so review and then a numeric rating, and then this timestamp when it's created. Okay. And this is just kind of me messing around with some insertions just to kind of get a feeling of what it's going to be looking like once I have some real data in there. So now zooming into this guy, you can see. Let's see, this did not run. So if we select all of my albums, you can see all the albums I have inserted into here. And these are ideally the ones I'm going to review first. So obviously some things here are null because I never added these. So like I said, I'm going to redo the data, but I just want to have some stuff in there. Length is going to need to be a time object. I just put 97 for this one just because. But yeah, so these are all the album names. Then obviously you have the artist ID, and obviously you'd have to do a join to find out, who artist 2 is, etc. So something like this. So this is selecting all songs, joining the artist table on that artist ID. See, right, on this artist ID where the name is close to Ye. So right now, the only person in my database with that is Kanye. But this is a like, not even an equal. So if I had another like Kanye East in the database, it'd show up here as well. But so now with some basic schema and some basic data, we can kind of see the power of the relations coming in now. So select all songs where artists blah blah blah. So this is select all. Generally you wouldn't do something like this. You'd at least have some kind of parameter, like this is just selecting the title, and ideally in the future I would be able to grab a song, grab who made the song, grab a review of said song, and then also grab the ratings from all the users on that song, right? So that way you can, so like critics review is this, user score is this. But like I said, this is getting developed in motion. There's no way I'm going to be able to plan this out perfectly then get to it. I don't know. I'm just a little chaotic when I start developing. So yeah, so a query like this would simply just show all of the albums that a certain artist has. So it's just a simple enough query. But what's really amazing is that these tables aren't living together. They're living separated, and you can join them together to get differing views of your data, which can provide you with new information. Now, right now, the way the info that I have set into the database isn't going to reveal any insights about our data just yet, because the main thing we're going to draw insight from is the ratings, the numeric ratings, correct? And I just don't have any of those in there at this moment. That's the main thing we're going to be drawing our leaderboards off of, our average score off of, things like that. So that's going to be the real meat and potatoes of it. But you need these systems in place before you can do that, obviously. So then here's another example query. And this one, you can probably tell from looking at the results what the query is about. So this one is basically bringing up, I'm basically joining my 3 biggest tables, and I'm basically saying pull up all of Kanye's songs, okay? So select, and then this query is actually when I kind of found out that I need to probably do something like this, because I think at first I had it as name, but I think name is a reserved keyword, and that kind of scared me when it popped up like that. So I just put it down as title. But so yeah, query like this is going to be joining my songs, artists, and albums tables. So you're combining all 3 of those tables to get a new view of the data. And this is showing me a song and an album. This is showing me a song and an album here. So obviously I know some of this isn't correct. Dark Fantasy is not on Graduation, neither is Ecstasy, but that's not the point. I also know Ecstasy's on here twice, which is redundancy. That's not the point either. Like I said, none of that's the point. But yeah, so now you can kind of see all of Kanye's songs in our database. Now this is obviously a rather simplistic view, but it goes to show that we can combine things all around. And like I said, definitely gonna need to change the names from title, just because this kind of confused me, as well as these rows having the same, or these columns rather, having the same name. So that's one query. Here's another example of a query, and this is basically saying show me all of the albums that have a rap genre. So right now I only have 3, but you can see how these things are useful. And then when we get to the front end of this application, these essentially will be the same queries we're running to find stuff. So I know this seems like a really basic query to run. Find an album, find who made the album, where it's rap genres. However, when it comes to our front end, when we say click sort by genre or something to that effect, it's a really simplistic query to run on the backend database. So that's why I was kind of messing around with these, because I'm trying to get a feel of what I want the front end to do and how I want it to query my database. Okay, so here's another pretty simple query. That one did not work. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to figure it out. But the idea behind this one, I don't think it's going to work. But the idea behind this one is selecting songs where artist's ID is equal to 3. So I don't know whose ID is equal to 3 at this moment. But obviously you could say, you know, Dua Lipa is a ID 3 on the artist table, so show me all of her songs or something like that. Yeah, query's kind of jank. Alright, and then something like this will just simply be saying, how many albums does this person have, you know? So I believe number 4 right now is The Weeknd, so he has three albums. And then if you want, you know, obviously a bit more than that, select count, and then as well as from albums where artist ID is equal to 4. So something like this, even though it's hard coded in right now as 4, obviously when Node is sending request, it's going to be select count from count, or select count as count from albums where artist ID is equal to X, and X would be whichever artist the user clicks on. So obviously it's not going to have the IDs on the form, it's going to have their names, and then at some point I need to do some magic to convert that name into an ID and then to spit back a count. So the whole point of this video was just to kind of show you the beginnings of this app, the interworkings of some of the database functions, as well as some of the simple backend queries we're going to be running from our front end application. So that is the first video in this music review app thing. Hopefully we'll be coming at you guys with another one.